Okay, so now that you know something more about the electrical plugs and sockets and advantages and disadvantages of these components, I think it's time for you to know and learn in this case something about this second section. Now I'm gonna just show you something quite fast. So the main topic of the next section is called explaining and assessing manufacturing techniques. Okay, so you might be used or accustomed to these terms maybe. In this part, this section covers the terms used to describe different cutting and machining techniques. Although the specific context is metalworking, many of the terms apply to operations involving materials that are common in mechanical, civil, and process manufacturing engineering. Within the logic of the overall unit, this section focuses on the production of individual components. That's what we are going to talk about, the production of individual components. Okay, and well, what is it better than that we start with something quite interesting? So I want you, before we start talking more about the assessment, manufacturing techniques and stuff like that, I want to know, what do you understand by the word manufacturing? What does it comes to your mind when you listen the word manufacturing? Juan?
Or manufacturing.
What
Well,
does it comes to your word?
I understand that this class of phrase or well or mention is about production. It's about production. Thinking about in applications or operation where the metals or different elements try to apply in one assembly. I mean, thinking about one product. If I have to talk about I don't know a cell phone, well, in this case, I have to think in different elements. So in this case, manufacturing is talking about the form of to produce a form to produce that class of product. No, maybe
Okay.
taking elements like metals, plastics, rubber. I don't know, different elements, different
Okay,
elements.
thank you. And Josue, what do you understand when you listen the word manufacturing or manufacturer? Are you there, Josue?
Me estabas diciendo a mí.
Yes, I was like, what do you understand for manufacturing or manufacturer?
Manufacturing.
Ajá.
Manufacturing is the way to make something about different techniques using the main resources, the human and equipments or
Okay.
equipments. So I'm saying machines, but it's more technicians or make something like drilling or welding or bending or I don't know. So
Okay, okay. Okay, great, thank you. So now in Paris, I want you to think of some examples, okay? I want you to think about some examples of machining operations that are often used in manufacturing involving metalworking. What do you know about that?
okay.
What examples do you know about machining operations? Give me an examples. Maybe an example at your specific job, maybe.
Can be drills or millings, machines,
Okay.
Buildings,
machines,
yes.
Uh-huh.
grindings, coatings, I don't know, that class of machines.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Great. Something that I want you to know, it's like a tip that I can give you. And let me share a new screen with this one so that you see. There it is. There's something that it's really, really common when we talk about English, specifically about engineering English. There is something that we called verbing. Verbing, okay? Do you know what verbing is?
Mm,
No,
I mean,
no, in this case.
well,
No,
I don't
it's
remember.
not something of engineering.
No?
No, it's something about language. Do you know what verbing?
Ah,
What is a verb?
verb. How do you spell it?
A verb, like that,
No, verbing.
verbing. A verb. What is a
Okay,
verb?
verb.
It's
Ah,
an action.
yes, it's an action.
So verbing in English refers to use exactly the same name as the verb to describe a function. I'm gonna write for you in here. So for example, often the names of tools, okay, that are nouns of course, are exactly the same as the verbs
The verbs.
that describe their function.
Exactly. Yes.
An example that I can give you about verbing, it's a clear example. I'm going to saw. What is saw? Well, you use a saw to saw. Or for example, oh, I need a drill. I'm going to drill with a drill, of course. Or
Okay.
I'm gonna hammer
You're gonna
the
hammer.
nail. What do I use to hammer? Well, I use a hammer. That is verbing, when you use the same name of the tool as an action.
Okay.
Cuando usan el mismo nombre de la herramienta como la acción que hace esa herramienta. Con un martillo, martillas.
Con un
Con
serrucho, serruchas.
con un taladro, taladras. Ese es el verbing. Verbing es muy, muy usado al momento de describir acciones y procesos. Es muy común en la industria. ¿Ok? Y muy específico en las herramientas. Por ejemplo, diamond drill. ¿Ok? La acción sería literal, to diamond drill.
Exactly.
¿Ok? Es muy específica este verbing. Another example, it's the jackhammer. So I'm going to jackhammer with a jackhammer. Okay. Sometimes, however, the nouns that describe tools and machines differ, pero esto no ocurre siempre. O sea, es muy común, sí, pero va a haber casos en los que van a tener que agregarle el ER. Okay, for example, you wash. ¿Con qué lavas? Pues con un lavador, with a washer. Okay. A power wash, power wash. A grinder, you grind with a grinder. Okay. So that is something really common in here, the verbing. So that you just remember that. Okay.
So,
Of course.
in this case, I have a list of words where I have to use this verbing.
I think there is a list. Yes, there is a list of the different tools
Okay.
But it's often common. I mean, with the basic tools, the general tools,
Yeah.
you can use the verbing, of course.
Okay. Okay.
So, thinking a little bit more specific now, I want you to look at exercise 6A. You can see that we have 6 different phrases. Okay, so help me reading phrases 1 to 3, please, Josue, and 4 through 6, please, Juan. Read the phrases, please.
Which one?
1 to 3. Just read the phrases.
The company specializes in sheet metal working. As Schneider. The company does a lot of metal casting. Metal bashing is a precise technical term for hammering.
Thank you, Juan. Drills and milling machines are always noisy. Well, noisy.
Continue.
Machine are always noisy. Grinding, number 5. Grinding is a process to use abrasives. And number 6, the press is used for shearing metal.
Okay, thank you.
So
now that we read the phrases, I want you to know this one. It's another listening, of course. What we are going to do now is you're going to listen to Evan, okay? Evan is a sales engineer. So Evan, it's a sales engineer with, in this case, a metal company, a metal fabrication company. And he is showing Mr. Barrett, who is a new customer, around their plant. Okay, it's like the typical visits from new customers to the plant. Es una visita de un nuevo cliente a la empresa. Y lo que está haciendo Evan, como encargado del área de ventas, pues está mostrándole la industria y los procesos que hacen, pues para que esté interesado en comprarles, ¿verdad? So, you're going to listen, and you working here, it's to know, according to the sentences, what is true and what is false. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how. So I'm gonna play the listening. Hear carefully. Escuchen con cuidado.
3.6. Most of what we do is sheet metal working. We don't do foundry work, you know, casting and that type of thing. That's obviously a different discipline. But apart from that, we're equipped to do most things to do with metal bashing.
Oh, that's the technical term for it, is it?
I'm not sure what the technical definition of metal bashing would be. A collective term for hammering, grinding, and generally making a lot of noise, probably.
It's actually not that noisy in here, is it?
No, it's not too bad. We had a specialist firm come in a while ago to measure noise levels at each machine, you know, for health and safety regulations. A lot of what we do isn't all that noisy. Things like drilling and milling machines are not too bad, relatively speaking. Anything involving abrasives tends to be noisy, things like grinders, even if they're only hand tools. And that big press over there makes a loud bang when they're shearing steel.
All right.
It certainly saves a lot of time, though, compared with flame cutting or sawing with a grinder blade.
So it's guillotine?
That's what we use it for mostly, yes.
All right.
Okay. Do you need me to play it one more time?
Yep, please.
Okay. Listen carefully again to the conversation between Evan, the sales engineer, and Mr. Barrett, a new customer.
Yeah.
3.6. Most of what we do is sheet metal working. We don't do foundry work, you know, casting and that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
That's obviously a different discipline. But apart from that, we're equipped to do most things to do with metal bashing.
Oh, that's the technical term for it, is it?
I'm not sure what the technical definition of metal bashing would be. A collective term for hammering, grinding, and generally making a lot of noise, probably.
It's actually not that noisy in here, is it?
No, it's not too bad. We had a specialist firm come in a while ago to measure noise levels at each machine, you know, for health and safety regulations. A lot of what we do isn't all that noisy. Things like drilling and milling machines are not too bad, relatively speaking. Anything involving abrasives tends to be noisy, things like grinders, even if they're only hand tools. And that big press over there makes a loud bang when they're shearing steel.
All right.
It certainly saves a lot of time, though, compared with flame cutting or sawing with a grinder blade.
So it's guillotine?
That's what we use it for mostly, yes.
All right.
Okay. So let's see what you understand about the conversation between these phrases. So we also pause just to tell if they're true or false sentences. Now, as you can see, we have in here number one, it says the company specializes in sheet metal working. Is that true or false?
Right, no, it's true.
It's true, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, let me just write it for you. True. Okay. Josue, what about the company does a lot of metal casting? Is that true or false?
The company does a lot of metal casting. False.
False. The engineer mentioned the casting is a different discipline. You might remember it.
Yes, casting is another one.
Okay, great. The third one, it says metal bashing is a precise technical term for hammering. What about that statement?
Metal bashing. No, it's a precise technical term. It's false.
It's false. It's not a precise technical term.
Precisely.
Actually, it's something that we know as a slang. Es un slang, algo social. Okay, great. What about the next one, Josue? Drills and milling machines are always noisy.
True.
Well, according to this listening, it's false. Work involving abrasive is noisier. Okay.
Okay.
Number 5 says that grinding is a process that uses abrasives.
Yes, it's logical. True.
Yes, it's true. And number 6, the press is used for shearing metal.
Press is just.
What about that one? Any idea, Josué?
Yes, it's true.
It's true. It functions like a like they mention it, guillotine.
Guillotine, yes.
Yes. So in this case, it's true. They used to cut metal.
Yes, they use it for mostly.
Exactly. Perfect. Great. So now that we know this one, let's finish the session with this exercise. In this, you have a training material for graduate engineers. Okay, and it says, the title says, Manufacturing Technique Evaluation, Cutting Operations. Key factors in determining the most appropriate cutting technique are material characteristics such as notably hardness and thermal and electrical properties, component thickness, component shape and complexity, and required edge quality and production volume. Select cutting options below for a detailed analysis and techniques. So you have 5 different cutting options: drilling, flame cutting, milling, sawing, and shearing. I want you to read the description of each process and decide which process are they talking about. Did you understand? I don't know if you understand the
Yes,
point. Okay,
yes,
good.
maybe we are talking about verbing, no? Related to verbing.
Yes, it's similar, yes, to the verbing.
Yes.
You see ing in everything you're writing here. So
Yes.
I want you to be sure of this one. So I'm going to help you with number 1. It says, listen, you have to understand the definition. It says, abrasive cutting, removing a curve of material, includes cutting with toothed blades and abrasive wheels. What is the description of this option? Or what is this option talking about? Which cutting option? They
Well,
cutting with toothed blades, abrasive wheels,
abrasive wheels,
and toothed blades. ¿Qué opción de corte sería esta?
Yep.
What do you think about it?
Shedding.
Which one?
Or shedding or sawing or
Okay.
maybe drilling. it's different because abrasive wheels. But it is with tooth blades. Tooth blades is like sawing.
Yes, the answer is sawing, actually.
Yes.
So sawing, and you have the description. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks.
Let's continue so with this one. Well, actually, I'm going to give you 2 minutes for you to read them and think about the process that they are talking about. Okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Are we okay, Josue? Ok, les doy 2 minutitos, léanlas y traten de responderlas.
I'm ready.
Oh, you finished.
Drilling, milling, and flame cutting.
Let's see in this case. Okay, you see the answers by itself. Let's see. Use of pressure on smooth edge blades for guillotining and punching.
Shearing.
Shearing. That is a description for shearing process. Let me write it. Okay.
And drilling, removal of material across the full diameter of a hole, or using cold saws for cutting circumferential
curves.
The number 4,
that's
milling,
drilling.
removal of a surface layer with multiple cutting wheel spaces.
That's what.
Flame cutting, using oxide fuel, oxygen combustible gas, often acetylene.
Okay, that one was easy for you.
Good.
I'm involved in that.
Yes, you're accustomed to this process.
Yes.
Well, these cutting options actually. Okay. Okay, great. That was great. That was great. Okay. So, just before we end this session, I'm gonna give you kind of a homework. I want you to answer exercise letter C as
Merci.
homework. You have to complete the following definitions using the words in the box. And you can see that you have a sandbox such as abrasive wheel, guillotine, hole saw, curve, punch, and toothed blade. Okay? So your homework is to read the definitions and similar to the last exercise, you're going to complete them with the
Yes.
words in the box. Okay?
Correct.